Is the ASUS Vivobook 16X1605 the best value 16-inch laptop in 2025? Let's get into it and find out. So today I have on my desk a 13th gen Intel i5. This has 16 gigabytes RAM. It's got a good size 1 terabyte SSD, and this configuration is priced at 900 Canadian dollars. For start, this certainly looks promising, but is it worth your money? In this video, I will break down the price, the performance, look at benchmarks, pros and cons, and who this laptop will fit. Now let's get right into it. So first off, I should let you know that this particular machine, you can get it in various configuration. So in this configuration, I actually chose the i5 because, of course, if I had gone i7, I'm looking at 150 extra. So next thing I can, if I spin down here, this is the i7 1255U. If I want to go to the 13th gen i7 1355U processor, that would be additional 200. As a matter of fact, this starts around $599.95, so that's 600. And I upgraded this to a 1 terabyte and 16 gig of RAM. So 1 terabyte FEM drive space here, and that bumps it up to $899, so that's 900. So the point here is that you can configure this to your own liking. Things that you won't be able to configure, of course, is your GPU. This is onboard GPU of this machine and this particular line. But let's take a look at the physical specimens. Let's have a look at the ports that we have on this machine. So on this machine, you have one USB 2.0. So that's your type A port. You also have two, this would be two 3.2 Gen 1 type A ports, and you have one USB-C port. Now, the USB-C port is going to support transfer speed of up to 5 gigabits per second, right? But note that this port does not support power delivery or display port functionality. So that's kind of a bummer. For that you have your one HDMI, and this is a 1.4 port, and this allows for external display connection or to your projector. And you have this can handle up to 4K at 30 hertz. On this side again, you have your audio jack. So you got your one port for your audio jack over there. So that's great, and it serves again as for headphone and microphone input output. And then over here you've got your one DC jack. This particular model, we're going to tear this down and look at the inside later, but this particular model has got a Bluetooth 5.5 for 5.1 for connecting to your Bluetooth enabled devices. Camera on this, you have a privacy shutter. It's a 720p, so it's a physical privacy shutter here. You can open it and close it as you like. So right now it's open and then it's closed. So you have that there, and Nice chiclet keys. The travel on this is 1.35 millimeters, so it's, you know, not too much travel on this, so that's okay, I would say, for this machine. And the again, this offers, this port, I would say, would be pretty good enough for doing whatever you want to do. Most configuration, this would be suitable for connecting your peripheral and for your network, because you're gonna have wireless on this. You know, you don't have like a physical network jack. You could use USB if you want a physical jack on this, like a RJ45 on this machine. Okay, so that's your physical attributes. So let's take a look at the screen itself. So the screen on this machine is a 16. It is a 16-inch screen display. So it's got a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. So that's great for productivity. You can really get a lot of things done on this machine. Let me just bring it up a little bit more so you can have a closer look at it. So with a 16:10 aspect ratio, that's great for productivity. I mentioned that we've got 16 gig of RAM on this machine. Battery life on this depends on what you're doing. You're looking at about 5 to 7 hours normal usage. It's fairly lightweight. This is 1.88 kg, and that's around 4 pounds. Uh, those are good stuff for this machine. Some of the downside on this machine, the display brightness, back to that display, is only 300 nits. So in bright rooms or outside, you're probably gonna have a challenge. But you know, in a normal setting, you will be fine. You will be fine with 300 nits. Graphics on this, again, I mentioned there's no dedicated graphics. You're getting an Intel Iris Xe graphic, and again, this is fine for everyday usage. It's fine for light gaming, but really do not expect any miracle here. The build on this, it's really plastic. That's a little bit disappointing. It's still sturdy, but it doesn't really feel premium. It doesn't feel like it's a premium build, but I guess I would still give that a pass. So overall, I would say this is a great machine for productivity, but definitely not a gaming machine. So if I should look at some of the if I should start looking at some of the performance on this machine, like some basic gaming. So if we're talking about, say, CSGO, for example, you're gonna get around 100 FPS on low. For Valorant, uh, you're gonna get about 90 to 120 FPS on medium. GTA, 40 to 50 on normal setting. Cyberpunk 2077. Let's not even go there, okay? You know, this is not the machine for that. But so for stuff like video editing and DaVinci Resolve, our Premiere Pro, it works fine for 1080 editing. But for 4K playback, it's gonna struggle. Again, due to the lack of a dedicated GPU on this machine. Okay, so all in all, who is this for? Uh, Students. So perfect for research, typing your paper, running multiple browser tab, and even some coding, some light coding, right? Not for a computer science student, I would say. Office workers, yes. Professional, this will handle Microsoft 365. Great. It will handle Zoom meeting. this will just take care of your business app without even breaking a sweat, right? For content creators, if you're doing basic video editing, graphic design, or Photoshop work, it's fine. But if you need heavy rendering, you're gonna need a laptop with a dedicated GPU. So yes, for casual users, you just need a fast laptop for web browsing, for streaming, daily tasks. This is a solid pick, for price and performance, right? So all in all, I think this is a nice machine. I would give this a I would give this a 7.5, maybe scraping towards 8. You know what? I would settle with a 7.5 out of 10 for this machine, and that's not necessarily bad. It's not telling you that it wants to be a game computer. It's got a nice screen for productivity. It is what it is. Okay, so if you have one of this machine and you have some experience or you've worked with it, drop a comment below and tell me how you're liking it. Okay, for the next stage of the video, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna shut this machine down and I'm gonna tear it down, take the cover off, and then we show you what we can actually upgrade on this particular machine. Okay, so here goes. It's got a nice little logo there, ASUS Vivobook, and my understanding it's got some special antibacterial finish. They said it's military grade finish, but it still feels plasticky, right? Still there's that play. Okay, so anyway, let's go. So with these, there are 4 screws at the front, 3 in the middle, and 3 towards the back. The screws at the front, they're smaller than the ones toward the back. The screws at the front, they're that size, and the 3 in the middle, that size. So be careful not to confuse them, because you don't want to put long screws where they do not belong, or short screws. They're just not going to hold if you put them towards the back. So that's just something to note. This machine, not very difficult to take it off. Just be careful. Do not force it. If it feels like something's still holding, just double check that you got all your screws and all your screws taken off. But once you take your screws out, just look around for a small gap. You would need a spudger. You could get away with a guitar type pick like this to start, but especially if this is the first time you're going to open it, you may need like a thin metal spudger like this, right? And then you just get it right in there. And once you pop it out, once you pop it a bit, then you can use your guitar pick type. Okay, and then you just go right around, slowly lift it out. Once you can get it off, you can slowly pop it off, and there you go. We're in. So remember I said this model, it's got a 12 that we upgraded this particular one to 16. So on board right now, there is an 8 on board, and then you add an additional 8, so now you have 16. And 16 is good for the most part. There's your 802.11 wireless card here, and that's your NVMe SSD drive right here. So you can actually upgrade this if you want. This is a 1 terabyte in there right now. That should be good for most purposes. Later on you could upgrade this, drop in a 2 terabyte or whatever your needs require. Okay, so over here, taking up most of the front portion of the laptop, you've got your battery, and this particular battery, this is a 42 watt hour, and the to remove this, you would push this clip backward like that, and then you would lift this up, lift the pins up. This is just down, so I'll get something smaller. I get a smaller pick there to go under here. There you go. You pry it up, and that's it. Simple as that. Again, anytime you open a machine, before you touch anything or start, fiddling around, I would say you should remove the battery. And of course, if you're gonna upgrade the RAM, touch anything on the board, I would say, you know, you discharge yourself from static energy. You wear something like a wrist strap like this, so this hand you put on your hand, on the other side would be pinning something metallic, and that way it would dissipate, it would take away all the static charge instead of sapping your expensive component on the board. So this is not difficult. You've got one screw here to remove, one here, you got another one over here. So I see just 4 screws to remove from this. And these screws, I should say, these are not any special screws. They're not Torx, they're not Pentalobe. It's just your regular Phillips type screws. So you're just gonna need a medium size tip or screwdriver to remove those screws. So that's it. Let me know if this was helpful to you, and let me know if you have one of these machines. Uh, that was great for you to stop by and watch these videos. Uh, Please remember to subscribe, to like, and to share. And if you have any question about this particular machine, as I continue to use it and test it myself, please drop a link down below, and I'll definitely respond as soon as I see this. Okay, well, you have yourself a great day. Okay, bye now.